Hello, hello! Welcome to today's live English lesson here on the Speak English with Vanessa YouTube channel. I'm Vanessa. Thanks so much for taking time out of your busy day to study English with me. Today I have a special advanced listening lesson for you. You're going to be learning, first of all, how you can understand fast native English. I know a lot of you can understand me. Maybe you've been watching my English lessons for a long time, or maybe you just joined me. Have you ever thought, why can I understand Vanessa, but I can't understand news reporters or TV broadcasters or TV shows and movies? Well, here I'm speaking with you. We're not having a quick conversation, chit chat back and forth. So the style of speaking is different. Well, I want to help you be able to understand that, because that is the key to having great friendships and communications in English, is understanding what other people are saying. So today I'm going to help you understand, first of all, how to understand native English speakers, especially when they're speaking quickly. Second of all, we're going to do it. We're going to practice this technique together. And finally, I'm going to help you continue to study like this, because today's lesson, it's just maybe 20, maybe 30 minutes. It's good, but you need to continue. So I'll help you learn at the end of this lesson how you can continue to study with this style and improve your speaking so that you can understand and speak like a native speaker. Thank you so much for everyone who's joining me live today. I see we have friends from Brazil, Dominican Republic, Kyrgyzstan, Syria, Mexico, Myanmar. Thank you so much for joining me live. Let's talk about our first point. How in the world can you understand fast native speakers? Maybe you've heard some tips like, you should listen to English. Listen, listen, listen as much as you can. Well, what happens if you just watch a TV show in English 50 times? Will you eventually understand it? Maybe, but if you understand only 10%, after you watch it 50 times, will you understand 100%? It seems like it's not the most effective method to me. If you watch TV shows that you feel overwhelmed by because it's just too fast and there's too much going on, we need to take it back a little bit. We need to scale down. We need to step back and shorten the material. Something that I often recommend to my students is, if you feel overwhelmed by a big chunk of material, take a small piece of it. We call these bite-sized chunks. Bite-sized chunks means small, easily accessible pieces, and study that small piece. When you analyze a small clip from a real conversation, you're getting the chance to see really how native speakers talk, but in a more accessible piece of information, just maybe 1 minute, maybe even 30 seconds of material. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take a look at a short clip. It's only 30 seconds. You're going to study it. You're going to listen to it. And I hope that you'll be able to understand it by the end of this lesson. So I want you to get a pen and paper, because I want you to study today. This is an active lesson. Make sure that you are preparing and not just watching me. Make sure that you are actively participating. We are going to be analyzing a short conversation for idioms, phrasal verbs, sentence structure, pronunciation. There's a lot of natural linking that happens, a lot of reductions that happen, and maybe some expressions that you've never heard before. So we're going to quickly study those together. So the 4 steps that we're going to follow today are, first of all, we're going to listen to a fast English conversation clip. Like I mentioned, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, maybe up to a minute. Then we're going to listen to a slow version of that clip. This version is not a natural speed. This clip is much slower because I want you to understand every single word. When you listen to that slow clip, you will probably realize, oh, that's what they were saying. Oh, now I understand. Hopefully you'll have a light bulb moment. This expression, a light bulb moment, means that you suddenly realize something. You suddenly understand, oh, I can understand what the fast version is saying. So when we slow it down, you'll realize, okay, I understand this word and this word and this word. And then we'll go back to the fast version. And I hope that you'll be able to pick it up because while you're listening to that fast and slow version, the third step is to write down everything that you hear. Because it's a short clip, we're not talking about a full movie. We're talking about just a short clip. You'll have the chance to write down word for word what you hear, and then we'll listen to it again. And I want you to check your writing with the original transcript. This way you can see which words you missed, which words were more difficult for you. Maybe there's a specific sound or a specific type of linking that's difficult for you. When you study it and analyze these small clips, hopefully you will have a light bulb moment and say, aha, I never realized that this sound was difficult for me, but now I know. So you can specifically study that sound and practice it yourself again and again. This is just helping you to become master of your own English learning so that you can take charge and improve. So we'll check your writing, and then we'll take a look at some clips. If you enjoy this style of learning that we're about to do, right now there is the 30-day English listening challenge that uses this technique every day for 30 days. You can study 5 to 10 minutes every day for 30 days. Last year we did this twice. There was the listening challenge pack 1, listening challenge pack 2. Now the listening challenge pack 3 is available. So this will be available until the end of the year, December 31st. If you're watching this after December 31st, you can check out the link in the description to see when the next listening challenge will be open. But I hope this technique will help you in the new year as your New Year's resolution to improve your English. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my screen with you. I'm going to show you the worksheet. This is what I want your paper to look like. So here we are. I'm going to quickly share this worksheet with you. Because we're in a live lesson, sometimes it takes a moment to switch between things. Are you ready? All right, let's take a look at this worksheet. Here we have Day 30 English Listening Challenge 3. This is the Day 21 lesson. This is pretty typical for all of the days. You'll see on the worksheet, this is what I want you to write down. Vanessa, Bruce, Vanessa, Bruce is the person I'm talking with, Vanessa, Bruce, or you can write VB. You'll hear us have a conversation back and forth, and I want you to write that down. Let's zoom in really quick so you can take a look at that. I know some of you are studying on your phone, so it's a little bit difficult to see the small script. This is a quick summary of what you're going to hear. In this conversation, Bruce explains that it's difficult to get a job at the hospital. Can you hear his accent from Chicago? Bruce is from Chicago, so you'll be exposed to a slightly different accent than mine. I want you to write down on your paper, Vanessa, Bruce. I believe it's 3 different times. So Vanessa, Bruce, Vanessa, Bruce, Vanessa, Bruce. And then you'll hear us have a conversation. Try to write down exactly what you hear. Okay, we're back. So I'm going to let you listen to this conversation in the fast version 3 times. Are you ready? I want you to take a deep breath. It might seem a little bit fast, or maybe it won't seem fast. If you feel like you can understand everything, I challenge you to write down exactly what you hear. Because I found that students who took the 30-day listening challenge course in the past, they felt like, oh, I can understand this okay, but when they tried to write down everything, they were surprised that there were quite a few words that they missed. Maybe these are small words, but these words are essential for really speaking naturally and using correct grammar. So challenge yourself to write down exactly what you hear. I'm going to switch over my microphone so that you only hear Bruce. You'll just see my face, but you won't see Bruce. You'll just hear it. So you're going to be testing your ears to see if you can hear him accurately. All right, we're going to listen to Bruce, and we're going to listen to him 3 times. Are you ready? All right, let's listen to him. How did you decide to work at the hospital?
I've been applying at the hospital for like 3 years.
Really?
Super hard to get into. Yeah.
Does like everyone want to work at the hospital?
Yeah, it's one of the largest employers in the area.
How did you decide to work at the hospital?
I've been applying at the hospital for like 3 years.
Really?
Super hard to get into. Yeah.
Does like everyone want to work at the hospital?
Yeah, it's one of the largest employers in the area.
how did you decide to work at the hospital?
I've been applying at the hospital for like 3 years.
Really?
Super hard to get into. Yeah.
Does like everyone want to work at the hospital?
Yeah, it's one of the largest employers in the area.
All right. That was the fast version 3 different times. You already knew that Bruce worked at the hospital. He's talking about how difficult it is to get into the hospital. Now what we're going to do is we're going to listen to the slow version 3 times. This is not Bruce's voice. This is my voice with my husband Dan's voice. So hopefully this is a voice you might be familiar with or a voice that will be easier for you to understand. The purpose of this slow version is for you to catch each of the little words, and then we'll go back to the fast version. So take your notebook, take your pen, and try to write down everything that you hear. You can try to write it down in the comments. You can write it down in your notebook. This is a good test exercise. All right, let's listen to the slow version 3 times. Are you ready? All right, just a moment. I got to switch over my microphone. Okay, let's get started. How did you decide to work at the hospital?
I'd been applying at the hospital for like 3 years.
Really?
Super hard to get into, yeah.
Does like everyone want to work at the hospital?
Yeah, it's one of the largest employers in the area.
How did you decide to work at the hospital?
I'd been applying at the hospital for like 3 years.
Really?
Super hard to get into, yeah.
Does like everyone want to work at the hospital?
Yeah, it's one of the largest employers in the area.
How did you decide to work at the hospital?
I'd been applying at the hospital for like 3 years.
Really?
Super hard to get into, yeah.
Does like everyone want to work at the hospital?
Yeah, it's one of the largest employers in the area.
All right. How did you do? Was it easier to understand that slow version? Probably. I want to ask you a quick question. How many years had Bruce been trying to apply to work at the hospital? Did you hear that number that he said? And what was the specific phrase that he used about the hospital? It is one of the largest. What did he say there? Did you catch every word he said? What I'd like to do now, if you would like to finish writing down what he said, go ahead. I'd like to show you the transcript so that you can see word for word everything that he said. Hopefully it will help you to pick out the words that were the most difficult for you. All right, let's go on to the transcript. I'm going to share my screen with you one more time. All right, here you can see the transcript. We're going to zoom in. Day 21, hospital. You can see Vanessa, Bruce, Vanessa, Bruce, Vanessa, Bruce. This probably looks familiar from the worksheet that I showed you a moment ago, and maybe you wrote that in your notebook. We have word for word what we said. I said, how did you decide to work at the hospital? Notice the pronunciation of this word, hospital. In American English, this T changes to a D. So I want you to say that correctly. Hospital, hospital. Repeat with me, hospital. Then Bruce said, I'd been applying at the hospital for like 3 years. A lot of you got that number correct, 3 years. But I'm curious, how many of you got this correct? I'd. What does that D stand for? That D stands for had. I had been applying at the hospital for like 3 years. Here he's using that past perfect tense. I had been applying. And the reason why he uses the past perfect is because in the past, It was a continual action. It happened a lot in the past, but now something has changed. He's not applying anymore, and I can understand that he's not applying anymore because he used I had been applying. That means that he either stopped applying or he got a job there. Then I continued and said, really? I'm surprised because 3 years is a long time to apply for a job. He said, super hard to get into. Did you get this phrasal verb? We'll talk about that in just a moment. Super hard to get into. Yeah. Then I say, does like everyone want to work at the hospital? I'm trying to find a reason. Why did it take 3 years? And he said, yeah, it's one of the largest employers in the area. Here we have that wonderful phrase, employers in the area. In the area. Did you get all of this? Maybe there were a couple words that were difficult for you to get. Maybe the phrasal verb, maybe the specific verb up here. Let's go on to the bottom of this page where we talk about these 3 red vocabulary expressions. Every day in the 30-day English listening challenge, there are 3 different expressions because it's useful to understand the words, but you need to know what they mean as well. So let's go on to the bottom of this page and check out I had been applying. We just talked about this, why he uses the past perfect tense. And then this lovely phrasal verb, get into. This means you're accepted. I'm trying to get into Harvard. I'm trying to get into the school of my dreams. I'm trying to get into the hospital because I want to work there. I couldn't get into my apartment because I forgot my key. You can see we're entering here. You're accepted. What about that final part, in the area? This is a pretty common daily expression. Instead of saying, the hospital is one of the largest employers in my city, or in Asheville, which is the city where I live, he said in the area. This is quite a general expression to just mean the city or region. It's not very specific. It's a general expression. So I hope that these 3 expressions help you to gain a deeper understanding of what he said. This specific transcript here is quite useful for that. All right, before we go on to the final step, which is re-listening to that fast version, I want to know, how did you do? When you look at this transcript, what words were difficult for you? Let me know in the comments. Now we're going to listen to the fast version again 3 times, and we're going to look at the transcript at the same time so that you can see which words maybe were difficult for you. You can see exactly as he's speaking. This is the technique that I recommend using in the 30-day English listening challenge. Test yourself first, listen to the fast, then the slow, then write it down, and then go back and listen to that fast version again and see, oh, I can understand more. I can really see what he's saying. All right, let's listen to that fast version. I'm going to show you the transcript, and you'll be able to see every single word as he's speaking. Let me share my screen one more time as we listen to this audio. I'm going to open the audio for you, this original audio. All right. Okay, I'm going to switch over my screen so that you can see that as well. All right, let's listen. How did you decide to work at the hospital?
I've been applying at the hospital for like 3 years.
Really?
Super hard to get into. Yeah.
Does like everyone want to work at the hospital?
Yeah, it's one of the largest employers in the area.
How did you decide to work at the hospital?
I've been applying at the hospital for like 3 years.
Really?
Super hard to get into. Yeah.
Does like everyone want to work at the hospital?
Yeah, it's one of the largest employers in the area.
How did you decide to work at the hospital?
I've been applying at the hospital for like 3 years.
Really?
Super hard to get into. Yeah.
Does like everyone want to work at the hospital?
Yeah, it's one of the largest employers in the area.
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't turn my microphone over. So I want to know, how did you do? I hope that this will be able to test your listening skills, but also launch you into the real world, because these listening skills are great for having natural conversations, having a business meeting, traveling to New York when you want to go to the US. But when you have those conversations, you can't say, hey, stop, I need to look at the transcript, because there's not a transcript when you're having a real conversation. So I hope that this practice time will launch you into understanding better in those real situations, especially if you study this every single day for 30 days in the 30-day English listening challenge. You'll really be able to improve those skills. So what I'd like to tell you now is we've already talked about how to understand, analyzing those small clips. We've practiced this together with Bruce's clip about the hospital. And now, finally, how can you continue this? Well, I have some good news. Today, December 21st, 2018, until December 31st, 2018, until the end of the year, the 30-day English Listening Challenge Pack 3 is available. So you can really practice listening every single day and test your listening skills, but it's only going to take 5 to 10 minutes. I know it's difficult to do something every single day, so I wanted to make these lessons accessible, bite-sized chunks, ones that you can say, oh, I woke up a little bit early today before breakfast, my family's not awake yet, I'm going to study it. Or, oh, I need to go to bed, but I'm going to study this lesson real quick. These lessons are real fast, 5 to 10 minutes. You saw the audio clip is not very long, so you can study it again and again, and 5 to 10 minutes, your listening will improve every day. So what I'd like to share with you is on my screen, I'm going to share the inside sneak preview into the course so that you can see really what each day inside the course is going to look like. All right, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, this is inside the 30-day English Listening Challenge Pack 3. It is 0% complete at the moment because the course hasn't started yet. You can see here all of these days, day 1, day 2, day 3, all the way down here. Day 21 is hospital. That's what we studied. And there are 30 days all the way down. Let's click to the start here, because if you join today, you'll immediately gain access to the day 0 material. Let's open here. Here you're going to find the course guide. This is how to use the material. When you're not studying in a classroom, you need some guidance as to how to use the material, because there's not a teacher present in your house telling you, do this, now do this, now do this. So this guide is my recommended study guide about how to follow the lessons. And really, this is exactly what we did today. You're listening to the original clip, you're listening to the slow version, you're writing it down, you're comparing it to the transcript. Great, this is going to take you step by step. The next thing you'll find on this page is a calendar. Each time in the listening challenge, I've made this calendar so that each day when you finish, you can check, check, check. You can check off each day. And a lot of students who've completed the challenge said that this was a small motivation to help them see how many days they finished. Oh, wow, I finished 15 days already. I can keep going. Or it was just a motivation to say, oh, I didn't check off the next day. I need to continue. So I hope that this calendar will just motivate you a little bit, because when you complete it, you can send me an email and get a certificate of completion. This is an unofficial certificate, but it's my way to thank you for your hard work and also for finishing all of this. Hopefully it will help you to see that you have certainly improved. Let's go over to the page. If you click the link in the description of this YouTube video, you'll go to this page. And this page is where you can join the 30-day English Listening Challenge. Here you can see there's 10 days, 10 hours, 32 minutes, 26, 25, 24 seconds, 23 seconds to join the Pack 3 version of the listening challenge. You can check out some more information about it, including some other sample lessons, some sample information so that you can go over that again, and a bunch of frequently asked questions. How can you download them? Yes, you can download every lesson. What's the price? The price is $30 if you join before the end of the new year. Just one-time payment, One price, $30. If you join before the new year, it's $30. The next time that the course opens, it's going to be more expensive. So this is like the special early bird entrance into the Pack 3 because it's new. The first lesson will begin on January 1st. So on January 1st, you'll begin the day 1 lesson, then day 2 on January 2nd, day 3 on January 3rd, and so on. If you have any questions about this material, I'll be answering them through email in the YouTube comments. And also next week, I'll be doing a quick live lesson again, maybe about 10 or 15 minutes, answering any of your questions about how to use this material and also how you can participate. Because every day during the month of January, you can ask me questions. The comment section below each lesson is quite active. I respond to almost every single question, every single comment, so that I can share it with you and give you some feedback. That's one of the benefits of having a teacher, is having some feedback. To let you know quickly, the material in the listening challenge, even though it is only for 30 days, you'll have access to it forever. So if you want to go back, maybe for you, day 7 is challenging. Well, you can go back at the end of the course and study day 7 50 times because you'll have access to this course for as long as it's available. So you'll be able to go back and study it again and again and again. And that's something that's useful for the calendar. You can circle days that are most difficult for you because all of these are natural conversations with different native speakers. So you'll be exposed to different styles of speaking, different speeds, different accents. These are all American English, but there's a lot of different accents within the US. So you'll be able to study those. Maybe one is more difficult than another, so you'll circle that one on the calendar and go back and study it later. If you would like to join me, you can click the link in the description or at the end of this video, and I hope that you'll be able to improve your English over the next 30 days. This is the key to studying English really consistently every single day. Thank you so much for joining me today for this live lesson. I hope that you learned a lot with the sample we did in the middle of this lesson with Bruce. I hope you improved your English, and feel free to continue with me in the 30-day English listening challenge, Pack 3, that's open right now, only for $30, one-time payment. You get basically 30 lessons, $1 per lesson every day in the month of January. Thanks so much, and I'll see you again the next time. Bye.